I already pre-colored mine to make it pop, so you make yours pop. So standard form versus scientific form. Here are the steps. If you answer yes to the question, you go left. If you answer no, you go right. And you basically just follow the little flow chart. It takes you down whichever direction you're going. So if it says no, it goes that way, and then it goes yes, and then no. Alright, so we're basically just going to read it, do a couple of questions, and then go from there. So go ahead and split up your paper into 4 equal parts. And then gonna do question 1, 0.00064. Okay, standard form says copy the question. Is it in standard form? Yes, if it's a regular number in the question. It's in scientific if it has times 10 to the power of 9. So it's regular. So this is what we're gonna do. Is it a decimal? So I look, yep, it is a decimal, so I'm gonna do yes. Then it says from the decimal, count how many times it takes to get the right of the first non-zero number from the decimal. That's your negative exponents. So all you have to do is count to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the first non-zero number at the right of. So that's your negative exponent. So it's to the negative 5. Then it says starting from the first non-zero number, write the number including the decimal, leaving out the zeros in the beginning, so that the answer looks something like this. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and starting with the first non-zero number, so that's a 6. So it's going to be 6 point, because I just put the decimal there, 6.4 times 10 to the negative 5. And that's really it. So this is really, really, really simple. 0.005075. So again, we're just going to follow the steps. So the first one, is it in standard or scientific form? It's in standard because it's regular. Scientific will have times 10. Is it decimal? Yes, it is. So this is the steps. From the decimal, count how many times it takes to get the right of the first non-zero number, and that's your negative exponent. So you see the 5, I took 3 times, so that's going to be negative 3. Then it says start from the first non-zero number, write the number including the decimal, leaving out the zeros in the beginning, so that your answer looks like that. So first number you're going to start is 5.075, and basically write the whole numbers, all the numbers after that number. Okay, so to the negative 3, 5.05 to the negative 3. Okay, so what if it wasn't a decimal? Well, what would happen if it wasn't a decimal? So we're going to take a look at some examples of that. So let's say it's in standard form, but it's not a decimal. So first number we're going to start with is 3,900. So we're number what? Number 3. Number 3, 3,900. So this is not a decimal, but it is in standard form because it doesn't have times 10 to the anything. So copy the question. Is it standard form? Yes. So is it a decimal? No, it's not. So let's follow those steps. Place the decimal after the first number, just like that. Count how many times it takes to get the end of the number from that decimal. That's your exponent. So this was 1, 2, 3. And then rewrite the number including that decimal after the first number, leaving out the zeros at the end. So this is 3.9 times 10 to the 3. So this time the zero is at the end and not at the beginning. So if it's a decimal, it's going to be negative. If it's a regular whole number, it's going to be positive. Alright, take a look at another example. So let's say we had 403. Alright, so again, put the decimal after first number, count to the right how many decimals you get to the end of the number, 2, that's your exponent. Rewrite the number starting at the first non-zero number without any zeros at the end. So 4.03. Because there's a number after 0, you have to include that 0. Take a look at another example. Let's say you had 90,000. Right, 90,000. Again, that's standard form, but not a decimal. So you start with putting a decimal after the 9, count to the end, take your decimal all the way to the end, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's your exponent, and then you do, it will be 9.0, but since 9.0 is just 9, you just do 9 times 10 to the power of 4. Alright, and so that's pretty much it. So let's take a look at some scientific ones. So scientific ones have times 10 to the power of something. So scientific has times 10 to the power of something. It's a good point to do a listening check. What I want you to do is shade in where you see that scientific form, that box, shade it in any color you want, just shade it in. That's a listening check. Shade in where it says scientific form, that box, shade it in. Alright, number 6, 9.84 times 10 to the 5. Alright, so we've rewritten the question, we've answered if it's standard form, it's not standard form, so it's scientific. Rewrite the number without the times 10 part. So you're going to write 9.84. Then ask yourself, is that exponent positive? Yes, it is. So I'm going to go down this box. So So it says move the decimal to the right as many times as the exponent tells you to. So it says 5 times. So I'm going to count 5. Then put zeros as need be. So everything up to the decimal, go ahead and put zeros. 0, 0, 0. Perfect. Then just rewrite the number without the decimal. So it's going to be 9, 8, 4, and 3 zeros. And I'm just going to put a comma, just tell you that's 984,000. And that's simply it. Okay, so this work is not difficult. Alright, take a look at another one, number 7. Let's say we had 9.430 times 10 to the 9. 9.430 times 10 to the 9. So write all the way on the left hand side because you run out of space if you don't. Okay. So it's scientific form, rewrite the number without the times 10 part. So all the way at the end, 9.430. And then, is it positive? Yes, it is. So we're moving to the right. So we're moving the decimal 9 times to the right. So just count it out, 9 times to the right. Put it there, and put in zeros everywhere in those little valleys. And then now all you have to do is rewrite it without the first decimal. So 94300, however many zeros those are. Write those out. I'm just going to put commas so that you can see what it is. Let's just do one more just to make sure we're good. Then look at number 8, 9.40 times 10 to the 0. Okay, 9.40 times 10 to the 0. So again, rewrite it's in scientific form because it has 10 times whatever. Rewrite it without the times 10. And then move it, is exponent positive? It's not really positive or negative, but it doesn't matter. Look at what it says. Move the decimal to the right or the left as many times as the exponent tells you. So right now it's telling me 0, so I don't move it, so I'm done. That's the answer. Alright, let's take a look at the last possible questions that they could ask you. So in the last one, so we're going to look at scientific form, but the exponent is now negative. So first one is 5.39 times 10 to the negative 2. 5.39 times 10 to the negative 2. So rewrite it without the times 10 part. So it's going to be 5.39.
Christ reached out to the outcasts, so we shine bright, yeah, we turn it up, turn down for what? Let's shake the ground. When it's dark, you see the stars come.
Alright, then it says, is exponent positive? Nope. So we go down this box, move it to the left as many times as the exponent tells you, so 2 times. Put a decimal, and same thing, we're going to put zeros up to that decimal point. So your answer is 0.0539. Let's just do one last one just to make sure we've completely got this. 8.57 times 10 to the negative 4. Again, it's an exponent. Rewrite the number without the times 10, 8.57. And then move it to the left as many times as the decimal, as the exponent tells, which is negative 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Put zeros all the way to the beginning of that new decimal. Then just rewrite it without all those quickly marks. 0.000857. And that's it. That's all there is to this one.
Yeah, we shine.